Hello everybody, SlimKirby here, and welcome to my next Let's Play project. You're probably wondering, Slim, how the hell are you going to do this Let's Play project? It's a puzzle game, it's a falling block puzzle game, but honestly, there is kind of a progression system for this game, and, you know, of all the falling block puzzle games that exist in the world today, Dr. Mario is probably my favorite. So, I think it makes sense to, at some point, do something with this game. I know I've played it in passing from time to time. I think when I did the WarioWare project for GBA, I did actually play a little bit of Dr. Mario, or Dr. Wario, as it's called in that game. And, just in general, I've actually been playing quite a bit of this recently, believe it or not. I actually completed the retro achievement set for this game not too long ago, actually a few days before I started recording this. And, I've just been in a very big Dr. Mario mood lately. I was getting a little burnt out from Dream Team, which I am still working on. I'm not replacing Dream Team with this or anything like that. I still have videos to upload and videos to go for that project, but to kind of like add something else alongside of Dream Team, I decided to do this, and yeah, gonna be playing a little Dr. Mario for you guys. So, as you can see on screen, Dr. Mario is a puzzle game. Basically, you're Dr. Mario, or I don't know if you are Dr. Mario or just Dr. Mario's giving you these pills or whatever, but he's throwing pills at you. You need to basically maneuver the pills around so you get rid of the viruses. Once you get rid of all the viruses in a level, you can move on to the next level, and that's basically how the general progression of this game works. It came out in 1990. It was released for a lot of the various Nintendo platforms. There was a NES version, Game Boy version, Super Nintendo version. I'm actually playing the NES version. I don't really have any, like, super strong attachment to this version, if I'm being honest. Honestly, the first time I played Dr. Mario was actually the WarioWare micro game, mini game, or whatever, but, over the years, whenever I got around to actually even doing some speedrunning for Dr. Mario, believe it or not, and I'll definitely talk about that during the course of this project, this was the version I chose. My good buddy Adirondack Rick speedran that version, and when I got interested in doing some runs, that was the version he recommended to me, so yeah, that's kind of where my attachment to this game comes from in this particular version, so yeah, that's why I'm going to be doing this. So let's go ahead and get started here. There's also a two-player mode, but obviously we'll be sticking with one player for this. When you go here, you have basically your choice of options. You have the virus level, which is basically the level of play. My goal for this project is to basically start from the beginning and go all the way to level 20 and beat level 20. So that is my basic goal. I'm not trying to do this all on one life. If I get a game over, I'll just restart at whatever level I ended at, and we'll basically take it from there. And as far as speed is concerned, I'm actually going to turn it up to high, because, again, I was talking about that retro achievement earlier. I had to play on high if I wanted to get that retro achievement, so I'm very used to playing with the highest speed setting. But, if you're newer to the game and, need more time to make your moves, there's honestly no shame in doing low or medium at all. But since I can handle high, we're going to go with high. And as far as music, we'll definitely listen to both, but we'll start with the classic Fever music. So, yeah, let's get started. So yeah, the idea here is you need to basically clear all the viruses on the board. To clear a virus, you basically need to have 4 colors in a row. When you do, all the viruses and pills of that color will basically disappear, and then if there are any pills that are still remaining, they will basically fall down until they land somewhere else, and then you can, proceed to clear them, as you normally go throughout the mode. And that's basically how this works. So yeah, right now all we have to do is clear all the viruses. We don't have to clear all the blocks or anything, so all we need is just some blues here, and there we go. That is essentially how you play the game, and as you complete one level, you move on to the next level, and they'll give you more viruses in that level, and they'll keep giving you more viruses as you basically go throughout the game. So yeah, that's basically how this works. Nothing too complicated, nothing too difficult. Pretty standard puzzle game, I must say. But the thing I really kind of appreciate about this puzzle game is that just the level of, I don't want to say skill necessarily, but like just the level of optimization you can do to basically get your clears. Because, a number of people will probably just do the very basic stack structure, where you just make a stack of pills and, you kind of clear them out in this fashion. But, you don't necessarily have to do that, too. You can also do something like this, where if you want to aim for basically a horizontal clear, you can do that, too. So, there's a lot of different ways you can accomplish your goal in this game. And, much like other puzzle games, you can also, set up combos and chains and stuff. It's just really neat how, you can do that kind of stuff for these types of games. And I think this game honestly works pretty well for that. Again, I've always been a fan of this puzzle game. It's been definitely one of my all-time favorites, that's for sure. I'm going to see if I can move that here. I'm going to do that. And see, one thing you really want to keep in mind while you're doing this, unfortunately I didn't really do what I wanted to do there, but that's fine. Actually, yeah, that is going to be perfectly fine. I'm still going to be able to clear that there. Okay, this is a little concerning about how I'm going to basically get those yellows. I think I'll just do this just to swing that in here and get that out of the way. Now, I am curious about how I'm going to do this, though. Probably just do this to get those blues out. Go ahead and clear that. Going to use this blue over here so we can clear this. Nice. Nice. Okay, just need our red for this. And now we can just make, we can make 2 stacks of reds right here, or we can build up like this so we can do a horizontal clear as well. But yeah, one thing I think is kind of cool, and like I'm sure you can do this for Tetris as well, because obviously Tetris is the other kind of classic block-falling puzzle game of essentially the era of when this game, first came out. But, you can do the same for that. But, like, I always think that, like, Dr. Mario by itself is actually a really solid puzzle game for speedrunning because, it is all about, like, clearing things as fast as you can and getting to basically your goal level in the time limit. Whenever I've done speedruns, it's been kind of the 0 to 10 virus category, so basically you make it to and through level 10, and once you do that, you obviously finish your run and everything. So whenever I've done speedruns, that's been of that category. And, there is definitely, like, a lot of optimization and just, different things you have to consider when going through this, especially during the run, like, because, sometimes a run may not go the way you expect, so you have to kind of, rethink what you're doing and kind of fix things as you're going through it, which can definitely be challenging in itself because, especially as things continue to drop, like, you may have noticed that the pills that you get are completely random. Like, you have no control over, like, what pills Dr. Mario will give you. So as a result, you know, it's not a guarantee you're going to get exactly what you need at all times. So you kind of have to, again, like I said, oh man, commentating over this is a lot harder than I thought it would be. But no, like, you just kind of have to just, again, course correct. I think that was the word I was trying to look for right there, course correct. And then, you know, as you course correct, you'll eventually find ways to get through it, even if you kind of stumble a bit at first. So you have to kind of keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just try to get rid of this for now. And yeah, if it's not obvious, you can also rotate your pills in the different ways. You would rotate them clockwise in a very basic manner, so that's essentially how that works. Shouldn't have done that. See, I had a perfect, great out right there, but then I didn't really utilize it. So I kind of panicked a little bit. I think we'll be fine. We'll definitely be fine. I'm just going to clear off some of these just to give myself some more room. This should get rid of the yellows, so now we just have to get rid of that red. But yeah, speedrunning. Like, being able to, like, look at a board, see, like, what you need to clear, like, not even just, like, what's in front of you, but also trying to keep in mind, like, the later parts of a level is very important. And, yeah, there is still a level of randomization to it, not just with, like, what pills you get, but also even the layouts, because the layouts are also random. You'll have the same number of viruses you have to deal with in each level, but the layouts will not be exactly the same. They'll kind of shift around the location. They'll be stacked in different ways, so, you know, you have that to kind of consider as well. And, yeah, it's just kind of an interesting aspect of this game, I guess you could say. For lack of a better word. Let's see. Yeah, let's do this. I'm trying to think of the best way to get these yellows out of the way. See, we're already out of blue viruses. We got a lot of blues to start, so because we got rid of all those blues, it's kind of interesting how we have to solve the rest of this. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to drop a yellow here. I'm going to get rid of these blues so I can get to that red. And see, we're actually in a really good position to finish this off. We just have to get the reds out of the way, and then we get the yellows out of the way. So notice how level 4 went a lot faster than probably the last 2 levels, honestly. So that's the thing that can kind of happen in these runs sometimes, is just, you know, just kind of have to wait for the right things to happen when you get to a certain point. But yeah, since I am playing the NES version, there is one feature that this version doesn't have that I wish it did. And that's the quick drop feature, which this does not have that. You can obviously, you know, make pieces fall down faster, but, you know, having quick drop is just kind of nice if you, like, already feel like you're already, like, you know, got your pill situated. You know, it's nice to just be able to just kind of move on. It keeps the pace moving. Something I would have really appreciated when I was doing the retro achievement stuff, because I had to redo so many runs during the course of that. For those wondering what exactly I was doing for retro achievements, essentially the achievement was to basically beat levels 0 through 20 without getting a single game over on the highest speed, which it's really hard to do. You know, obviously I'm doing pretty decent so far, but honestly the trouble doesn't really even come until much later in the run, when you have basically like 80 viruses to get rid of in one level. And that was why I was struggling with it so much, because, you know, I do the first 15 levels just fine, but then when we get to close to the end, it became absolute hell. And basically spent like 2 weeks trying to get that one achievement, because it was hard. It was just really, really hard. But, you know, I felt very rewarded when I did get it, because it just kind of felt nice. It felt like You know, you have that one moment in gaming where it's just like you achieve something you've been trying to do for a long time, whether it's, you know, maybe getting 100% in the game or, you know, beating a boss that you hadn't beaten ever before or something of that nature. When it happens, it feels tremendous. It feels like such a huge weight has lifted off of your shoulders, and it's just a really good feeling. That's kind of one of the reasons why I like retro achievements, because, you know that I'm not really someone who... I say this all the time in, like, my GBA's videos, for example, but, you know, I'm not one who really cares for being, like, forced into perfection, yet I'm also a perfectionist. I think that's part of the reason why I don't like being forced into perfectionism, because I am a perfectionist and I'll generally try to go for it. And because of that, let's just say it can have some pretty undesirable effects, to say the least. Shoot. I was kind of hoping that wouldn't happen, but that's fine. Fine, I'll do this too. I really wanted to get, like, not a red and blue there. I wanted a red and, I think it was yellow. Oh, damn it. And see, sometimes, like, I swear, and, like, this is something that does actually happen. Like, ask any Dr. Mario player and they'll tell you. Sometimes you'll have moments where it's like, you know, you're so focused on doing a specific move, you get everything lined up, but then when the move actually happens, you realize, oh, I didn't rotate it the right way. And then it's like you have to, oh shoot, okay, I have to fix this now. It happens. It always happens. Again, any Dr. Mario player will tell you that, and they will confirm that for certain. That yes, that has and will happen to you if you play this game. It's just a part of the game, I guess you could say. A part of the game, indeed. Okay, let's see if we can get this stuff out of the way. Probably not like this. Yeah, if I got a blue, I could probably work with this a little more, but I'll just... Oh, okay, here we go. We're kind of getting things now. Kind of getting them a bit too late now, though, unfortunately. Yeah, it's too late, but hey, we have another way to clear it out, I guess. But yeah, essentially, this year, kind of like, it was either towards the end or it was mid-February. I don't remember exactly when. But that was when I just kind of like randomly... It was like after a stream one day. Like I finished all the stuff I wanted to do early. So I'm like, I don't know what else to do. I'll just, I don't know, play some Dr. Mario or something. And, you know, that's when I started the achievement set for this game. And, you know, I didn't have a great run. But I was also, you know, trying to shake off rust and everything, too, since I hadn't played the game in a while, so that's another reason why it didn't really go that well. And, over time, just in my spare time, while I was editing, working on GBA's videos, or just doing whatever, I just randomly put this game on and tried to, you know, earn the achievements for it, and eventually it got to a point where it's just like I only had the perfection achievements left, where, again, you basically win without getting the game over. And, you know, I'm not someone who, like, when it comes to those challenges, I already am not really a huge fan of them to begin with. So I never really sought out to necessarily beat them, but they were achievements I was going to try for because, again, just because I wanted to, and... Eventually, it just got to a point where I was making a lot of progress, and I felt like I could actually do it, so... Eventually, I just kept trying to make progress on it. I made it to level 18 a few times, which was like the furthest I had ever made it on just one life before. And finally beat that, got to level 19. Finally beat that, got to level 20. And then... You know, the rest was history after that. Eventually, it just got to a point, it's like, okay, well, I did it. I had the run I needed, and I got through it, which was pretty freaking awesome, not gonna lie. Okay. And yeah, that is the story of how that came to be, and kind of how this project came to be, because that's, you know, kind of what put me in a Dr. Mario mood as of late. God, I would wish they would stop giving me blues right now. I know blue is my favorite color, but it is not going to help me clear viruses right now, that's for sure. Okay, just need yellows. Okay, so, yeah, at this point it's basically going to be just, hey, let's just spam until we get exactly what we need. And there it is. So I might just actually, like, record this straight through. So, I'm not going to have any, like, necessarily any, like, ending and starting points. So, brace yourself for that. There we go. I think it just makes sense to do it that way, honestly. Okay. Oh, this could be good, actually. For anyone who does retro achievements, you know, if you're into this kind of game, I think it's kind of a fun set to aim for. If you want to, you know, try retro achievement hunting on it. Just, you know, that achievement can be difficult. Definitely it's the one achievement I've gotten on the site right now that has the highest, like, retro score, meaning basically of all the people who've played the game, I'm in a very low percentage of those who actually have that. So, yeah, it's not an easy achievement to get, considering. But yeah, a lot of the achievements are basically just very general, like, progression-based achievements. So, there's, like, one for getting to every single level individually. There's one for beating each of the different levels on the different difficulty or speed options. And it's done in a way where if you do it on, like, the highest speed, like, you'll get credit for all the other speeds. Because, I mean, it would make sense. Like, why would you do the whole thing over again on just a lower speed if you've proven you can do it? But, yeah, it's a fairly simple set. So, as I talked about before, the first time I played Dr. Mario was actually on WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Games for the Game Boy Advance. You know, Dr. Mario was something I had seen before. Like, I've definitely seen the game. I never actually had it or owned it, though. In fact, I didn't really even know, like, the general process for how you play Dr. Mario until I got, you know, WarioWare and, you know, saw that game in that game. But yeah, I had been aware of it, though. I mean, just from seeing other people play the game before on NES, seeing it in Nintendo Power. Obviously, Dr. Mario was a character in Super Smash Bros. Melee. He was actually one of my mains in Melee 2, to be honest, which is kind of funny. But, yeah, that was basically how I first, you know, became aware of this series. So, you know, I don't have, like, a super deep history with this game. You know, just some things that, little fun facts along the way, I guess you could say, but nothing really like, you know, the stories I have with, like, other games, like Fire Emblem, or, you know, my first and most favorite game, Super Mario World, or the Mario Party series, or anything like that. No, I don't have any deep histories like that, but it's definitely a game series that has always, you know, stuck with me to some extent, and I've had some connection to it. Just again, in a much different way than a lot of those other games. And see, sometimes you'll find yourself in matters like this where you're kind of too nervous to work on one front, so you kind of focus on the other front. And that can be a little, oh man, I almost actually messed up right there. That can be a little dangerous, because the longer you spend in a level, the more your game will actually speed up a little bit. Because the game's like, okay, you've been doing this enough, we're going to try to just, like, you know, we're going to get you to try and make a move to either end the game or end your game. So, you know, you can't really dawdle too much. And see, there I go, I made that mistake again up there, I didn't mean to. That's a little annoying, so I'll have to course correct that. But, yeah, you definitely still want to try to make sure that you're constantly working on the whole board and not just one section of it. As nice as it would be to clear up that whole section because, oh hey, look at all this space I have. You know, if you have like a lot of viruses or just blocks up to the top, it's going to be harder to clear them because of the time crunch you'll be dealing with. So that's why you got to be kind of careful with that. Okay. There we go. And yeah, you can sometimes like fit stuff in like those little crevices like I did right there. It's a little hard to do, but it can be done. Okay, so now I'm going to try to start wrapping up this level now. Yes, we'll do this. I'm not really too worried about those blues because we could potentially get a double blue in between them, so that won't really matter too much, but yeah, I'll just do this anyway. Never mind. Never mind, something opened up, so it's like, I'll go ahead and do it then. I need to get this. Okay, we'll do it this way. So we need a double yellow would be really nice right about now. Or you know what? Double red will work too. Now we can get a yellow to clear this out. I might actually end up using a double blue for that too, maybe. Yep. What about that? We still use that double blue. How about that? Yeah, we're just gonna build temp tower so we can clear this one. And obviously the faster it gets, the harder it will be to kind of stuff blocks into like little holes because you know, you have a much tighter time frame to use, so you gotta be careful of that too. And then sometimes if you have to use like a color earlier, like if right there, I didn't have any like super accessible reds, so I kind of had to like make a section of reds temporarily, just so I could, you know, get rid of them and get rid of something else to maybe get access to some other reds. Other things you'll have to definitely think of while you're playing this. And see, sometimes you can keep blocks on screen and use them in the fashion that I just did for that one single red. I was able to basically drop it on top of that other red after I made another clear elsewhere, so. See, just trying to show you all the different levels of strategic brilliance you can use for this series. Okay, don't have any great yellows right now, so let's just put these here. That's fine. Man, I'm loving all these reds we keep getting to really clear things up. But yeah, one thing I really like doing is if you have like 2 stacks of the same color together, you know, it's tempting to use a double to obviously, you know, clear one of the stacks as soon as you can. But one thing you can do is you can also use one pill to potentially hit both stacks if you do that properly. I always try to make use of things like that because that could quite easily like free up a lot more space and open up some spaces that you wouldn't have probably had otherwise. So, yeah. Another thing I try to keep in mind when doing runs of this. Should have probably considered to do that better, but that is fine because that opens up that. We can clear that. The only thing that's going to be a problematic situation is that red tower on the far left. Because that yellow is going to kind of be in the way. So let's get rid of the other tower first. So now we need to get some yellows, which that's a yellow, so that works. Okay, we should be good to go. And there we go, level 10 completed. And every time you complete 5 levels, 5 numbered levels, since level 0 doesn't really count, you'll get a little congratulations screen. Little check mark, I guess you could say. Doesn't really do much beyond that, though. You just keep moving.